within our power to ensure that no one is left behind in their time of need.
NEMA emphasizes need for Nigerians to always stay clear of oil spillage from tanker vehicles or pipelines to avoid casualties from fire disaster. Nigerian Army develops civil-military relations, enhances Army's image for success in ongoing internal security operations. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Stella Inamiti. Now details of the news. President Bola Tinubu has approved the funding for the successful takeoff of the Category 2 UNESCO International Media and Information Literacy Institute in Nigeria. Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made this known when he received UNESCO feasibility team in Abuja. Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara reports.
Nigeria's pledge to establish and host the institute emerged from the 2022 UNESCO Global Media and Information Literacy Week, hosted by Nigeria in October 2022 in Abuja, and was endorsed by a resolution of the 216th session of the UNESCO Executive Board in May 2023. Members of the UNESCO feasibility team are here to compare notes after reviewing Nigeria's proposal on the infrastructure provided for the takeoff of the institute that will provide services to the world.
We were at the university, and so far, Honorable Minister, it has been so good from our end. All of the documents and the stakeholders we interacted with, they have been so positive.
Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, acknowledged UNESCO's desire to continue to support the country to explore its potential in developing its information and communication space.
We approached Mr. President, who has graciously not just approved what the ministry, in collaboration with the National Open University of Nigeria, is doing, but also in ensuring that every support, especially the financial, whatever support that is required, everything that we have asked of from Mr. President has been provided.
As a government image maker, he reaffirmed the government's unrelenting efforts to guarantee press freedom and restore trust and credibility to government communications.
If you are reporting anything, whether you are a citizen journalist with a phone on your hand or a laptop or whatever, and your desire is to push out information, you have to know that you have a great responsibility on your shoulder. It is either you are pushing out information that helps society to grow, to develop, or you are also pushing weapons that will help to destroy the very society that you belong to. And so we, as a country, have decided to key into the UNESCO guidelines in ensuring that information, misinformation, disinformation, and fake news are somewhat being looked at.
He called for global support in the fight against fake news. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi Gwanara, NTA News.
Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Zubaida Umar, has emphasized the need for all Nigerians to always stay clear of oil spillage from tanker vehicles or pipelines to avoid the continuous mass casualties occasioned by fire disaster. The NEMA boss stated this while on an on-the-spot assessment of the extent of damage of the fire disaster in Diko, Niger State. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports that the agency also deployed food and non-food items to families of victims.
The incessant fire disaster occasioned by oil spillage has continued to claim many lives due to the unrepentant attitude of some Nigerians who always take advantage of the spillage from accidental trucks to scoop petroleum products. The DG NEMA is saddened by the number of people that died in the recent fire disaster in Dikko Junction, Niger State, and commiserated with the government and people of the state over the tragic loss. She said authorities concerned must take proactive steps to prevent further occurrence. Zubaida Umar later flagged off distribution of some food items for distribution to victims. She said the gesture is in line with the directive of President Tinubu and continuation of the federal government's commitment to offer support in the recovery of any community where disaster occurred.
Our agency will continue to work closely with state officials and other emergency responders in providing long-term recovery needs that may arise. We understand how devastating emergencies can be on families and will do everything within our power to ensure that no one is left behind in their time of need.
The DG NEMA commended the swift response of first responders to the incident, particularly the rescue team from NEMA, Niger State Emergency Management Agency, firefighters, Federal Road Safety Corps, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, medical personnel, community members, security operatives, and other stakeholders that acted swiftly under pressure to save lives and mitigate further damages. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the National Biosafety Management Agency is not resting on its oars in curtailing malinformation, fake news and other wrong perceptions about the activities of the agency as a regulatory body. Environment correspondent Mina Daniels was at a communication workshop organized by the agency in Abuja and now reports.
The communication workshop has become imperative to ensure stakeholders are on the same page and on track, as well as maintain a two-way communication process, giving no room for fake news and malinformation, according to the Director General of the National Biodiversity Management Agency, Dr. Agnes Yemisi.
Being professional about it, being transparent. There has been a lot out there in the social media causing fear, causing panic in the populace.
An assemblage of various media and biodiversity stakeholders, resource persons and specialists from the USA and Kenya share thoughts and experiences to bolster the need for the agency to stay on track irrespective of prevailing circumstances.
You know, the minute you mention the word genes, people tend to feel very concerned and you know, a lot of heightened fear comes into the conversation. And so it's very important in that sense to be able to really think through how we can engage the public effectively.
I know we have an MOU with MBMA, and the department in charge is the Quality Assurance Department of FCCPC, and I think they're working out modalities on collaborations.
Key takeaway from the communication workshop is but hope that going forward, appreciable changes will be seen in terms of synergy, understanding and communication strategies with activities of the agency to achieve their mandate. In Abuja, Mina Daniels, NTA.
The former Managing Director of Assets Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, Ahmed Kuru, has been arraigned along with 4 others for allegedly defrauding Arik Airline 76 billion naira and $31.5 million. The defendants were arraigned before Justice Mojishola Dada of the Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja, Lagos, on a 6-count charge bordering on theft, abuse of office and stealing by dishonestly taking the property of another by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The defendants, however, pleaded not guilty to all the 6-count charges. After listening to all parties, Justice Dada granted bail to the defendants in the sum of 20 million naira each, with 2 sureties in like sum. The judge also directed that the defendants must submit their international passports with the court. The case has been adjourned to March 17, 18 and 19, 2025 for commencement of trial. The successes recorded so far and the policies and programs put in place by government in the anti-corruption fight have received a boost, with call for effective implementation and persecution of offenders. This was a stakeholders' dialogue on anti-corruption organized by the Bureau of Public Service Reforms and Center for Fiscal Transparency and Public Integrity. Haman Jabani reports.
The parallel report examines Nigeria's implementation of selected articles of Chapter 2, Preventive Measures, and Chapter 5, Assess Recovery of the UNCAN. In 2009, the Conference of the State Parties to the UNCAN created the Implementation Review Mechanism to evaluate member countries' compliance with the Convention, and gathered here are key stakeholders to assess how Nigeria has fared in the implementation and to fill the gaps identified.
The failure of ministries, departments and agencies of government to provide information on the efforts we are making individually as MDAs and in a group as government on the efforts that we are making. You agree with me, and the participants too will agree with us that quite a lot of efforts are being put in place.
So these are all those recommendations are easy. What usually takes time is attitudinal change. That usually takes time, as we know, and other people are growing up, so that has to come from the home, from our religious institutions, our schools, yes. But on the prevention issue, not sensitization, on blocking leakages is actually very easy.
The review has shown that while Nigerian government institutions have adopted most UNCAN norms, their practical applications need to be reversed, identify good practices and differences, and ensure effective implementation of UNCAN's provision in Nigeria.
We have everything it takes to ensure that anti-corruption laws are enforced. The agencies are all working. But the fundamental problem that we should look at and start working on with advocacy is to create awareness among Nigerians to stop celebrating established corrupt officers.
The report forwarded 22 recommendations, which include implementation strategies to enhance anti-corruption agencies' autonomy and operational capacity. Others are ensuring the adaptation of an access to information law at the subnational levels, establishment of an independent agency to monitor the implementation of the Freedom of Information Act, as well as sanction non-compliant institutions. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
The President of Police Officers' Wives Association and wife of the Inspector General of Police, Elizabeth Kayode Egbetukun, has empowered 300 families of officers who lost their lives on the line of duty in Kano State. Abdullahi Mustafa reports that while in Kano, Mrs. Egbetukun also inaugurated a clinic and POA State Secretariat, among other projects.
The empowerment program is part of the Inspector General of Police initiative aimed at giving the families of the fallen heroes a sense of belonging and supporting them to be financially independent. Presenting the empowerment kits to the beneficiaries, the POA president enjoins them to utilize it effectively to train and take care of their children.
This empowerment program is designed to equip you with the tools, skills and community support necessary to navigate this new chapter of your lives. It is a reminder that you are not alone.
We believe that by empowering these women, we are not only improving our lives, but also honoring the sacrifice of their loved ones that paid the supreme price in the line of duty.
By providing women with the necessary skills, resources and support, we can unlock their full potential and create a brighter future for themselves, their families and our communities.
The beneficiaries were drawn from 3 police formations in Kano, Jigawa and Katsina states. Meanwhile, the POA president had earlier inaugurated State Secretariat of Police Officers' Wives Association in Kano, a clinic built by a philanthropist at 52 Police Mobile Barracks Chalawa, and a motorized borehole at Bompai Police Headquarters.
On health, the Nasarawa state government has flagged off its 2025 outbreak response and polio vaccination campaign. The Deputy Governor, Dr. Emmanuel Akabe, who performed the ceremony, applauded the commitment of development partners in ensuring polio eradication in the state. Joshua Kibu's report is here presented.
The flag-off is said to have become necessary due to the resurgence of polio variants in neighboring Kogi State and the need to be proactive in curbing its spreads. The Deputy Governor notes that the state government will enhance its collaboration with international partners in fighting the child killer disease and appreciates the international agencies, religious bodies and traditional institutions for their support to the government.
We must be prepared, and that is why we have done this exercise, and we encourage all of us that are here to carry the message back home so that our children 0 to 5 years are brought out for this immunization.
Chairman of Lafia Local Government Council Muhammad Haliru Arabo and the Emir of Lafia Justice Sidi Bage Muhammad I assured the state government of its commitment to support the outbreak response and polio vaccination campaign in the state.
We want to assure His Excellency that whatever effort that this government is on to do for the benefit of our people, we are there and will continue to be there for you.
Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Dr. John Damina, and the Executive Secretary of the Nasarawa State Primary Healthcare Development Agency note that the exercise indicate their collective drive toward tackling health challenges in the state. Other speakers highlight the need for concerted efforts toward ensuring a disease-free state. In Lafia, Bilkisu Umar Gurku, NTA News.
You're watching the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
Our food, our health, our tomato paste. There is no tomato paste to taste of my house. There is no tomato paste. Yeah, which tomato paste? Tiwani, 100% natural tomato. Namune, alelelelelele, oh, alelele, oh, ale. There is no tomato paste to taste of my house.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, tune in to NTA News 24, DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, StarTimes Channel 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703.
Thanks for staying with us. And now a report from the military says the Nigerian Army is determined to further develop its civil-military relations to enhance the image of the Army to facilitate success in ongoing internal security operations. The new Chief of Civil-Military Affairs of the Nigerian Army, Major General Gold Chibuisi, who stated this as he assumed office, charged personnel to upskill non-kinetic approach to improve civil-military relations in addressing present security challenges.
We ensure that we conduct our operations in line with international best practices. The troops were retrained, and today they continue to be retrained and trained to apply all of the extant rules that guide warfare.
We have a responsibility to keep projecting this very important organization, the Nigerian Army, to the people, because the people own us. We have to reflect what the people want. And it is one that I'm coming here with the best of my zeal so that we can get the job done.
The Army Chief notes that proactive intelligence report is key to the success of security operations and stressed the need for harmonious working relations with locals in the grassroots. Again, the Nigerian Army 302 Artillery Regiment, General Support, and the 14th Field Engineer Regiment Onitsha have held the 2024 edition of the West Africa Social Activities, popularly known as WASA, to reinforce social cohesion and cultural exchange among the ethnic nationalities of the country. Steve Lonai Nwaokolo reports that the event was attended by the Anambra State Governor, heads of other paramilitary agencies, as well as the traditional rulers.
The West African Social Activities, popularly known as WASA, entails the display of the various activities such as games, cultural performances, food fairs and exhibitions, as well as the rich traditions of the diverse ethnic groups in West Africa, and to reinforce the importance of social bonding amongst the personnel.
The achievements of the two regiments so far has led to the reduction in crime, particularly kidnapping, cultism, political assassinations, armed robbery, and activities of the secessionist group.
The governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo, who expresses delight with the organization of the event, sued for partnership with the army in Onitsha towards ensuring security and socio-economic development of Anambra State.
I want to appreciate you more particularly, the 302 and the 14th Engineer Regiment, for your uncommon sacrifices to keep Anambra safe and secure.
The social event featured cultural performances of the various ethnic groups in Nigeria. The audience were thrilled by the tug-of-war competitions between personnel of the 302 Artillery Regiment and the 14th Field Engineer Regiment, members of the National Youth Service Corps, as well as the barracks women versus the Mami Market women. There were presentations of souvenirs to the heads of paramilitary and awards to some deserving soldiers, climaxing with the beating of retreat with the symbolic lighting of the bonfire led by the governor, Charles Soludo. In Onitsha, Steve Lonai Nwaokolo, NTA News.
A comprehensive masterpiece on Nigeria's roadmap to sustainable climate financing strategy has been unveiled. A non-governmental organization, Connected Development, Code and partners are at the center of the project. Tokbe Alabi reports.
12 states in Nigeria have operationalized climate action plans, being one of the 10 most climate vulnerable nations globally, as many Nigerians live in high-risk areas where climate impacts such as flooding, erosion, drought, and rising temperatures are becoming increasingly severe. Nigeria receives only 4% of the $17.7 billion it needs each year to address its climate-related challenges.
Okay, so with this...
The State of Climate Finance Report in Nigeria, unveiled by Connected Development and Partners, shows that 75%, approximately $3.7 billion of the $4.9 billion received between 2015 and 2021 were in loans, accounting for a part of the country's total debt burden.
Investments should be made and should be in form of grants to ensure that these human beings, who are going to be affected by climate change, by the energy transition, are adequately catered to and taken care of.
They come each year with huge amounts within those funds. And the amount of money within this fund does not have a trickling down effect.
So as Nigerians, we must begin to question this system. We must drive for change.
The report, however, wants a shift from concessional loans to grants, allowing Nigeria to build climate resilience without exacerbating debt.
Now we are talking about more of debt coming to us instead of grants. So for me, that is the pivotal point, that private sector will have to step up.
Our expectation is government sees this as an opportunity to use it in their framework on policy, inform this new tax regime that is being debated and that will be passed by the National Assembly and implemented by the executive, and ensure that strict measures are put in place.
Our expectation really will be for policymakers to begin to look inwards, in terms of mobilizing better resources and also prioritizing development, with those kinds of resources.
It's the issue of budget tagging and budget tracking. Once we release our budget annually, they will need to find out what components of it attends to climate.
The report calls for immediate reforms of Nigeria's climate finance strategy, emphasizing that international donors and domestic policies must prioritize equitable, transparent and impactful funding. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
And that concludes the news desk at 6 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Stella Inameti.